嘿，你好吗？
Make sure to fix yourself a nice dinner when you're watching this one. The Sadness is a Taiwanese horror film about a virus named Alvin, which may be getting worse as the day goes on. Sure, the day starts out fine, the neighbors may be acting a little weird, some people are getting arrested, but best still go to work. Then it goes from zero to batshit fast. You think you're just in a restaurant getting something to eat, and then a man is doused with grease and his face ripped apart. After that, the horrific imagery in this does not let up. The virus turns those infected into sadistic murderer, rapist, torturers, and not only that, their insults are very pornographic. It's like you're watching a rage zombie film where yes, they will rip you apart limb from limb, but also their words cut deep too. This is a movie that makes you terrified about what you're gonna see next, like, oh my god, what are they gonna do with that barbed wire? Oh, yep, they're slamming a man's nuts into it. He seems to be enjoying it though, so I guess it's okay. We spend the movie cutting back and forth between a couple, Jim and Kat, who are both trying to find each other, and both of their stories are riveting. I wasn't dreading whenever it would cut away from one and then go to the other. If we're not watching someone being beaten with bats on his end, with her, someone's getting their eye socket humped, and then a blood orgy might break out. The infected in this are also genuinely terrifying, and they constantly have this look of pure sadistic, cackling madness on their faces. The movie can also be kind of funny too, where there's a press conference going on, a general sticks a grenade in a guy's mouth, his head explodes, the feed cuts, and then the guy watching the TV says, "What the hell do we do now?" This is an extremely entertaining movie that's wildly intense, with characters we root for, and fantastic, over-the-top gore effects. The movie plays like a combination of stuff like The Crazies, Shivers, Nightmare City, and it's also heavily inspired by a comic book series called Crossed. I'll give the movie an A. It's available over on Shudder and is highly worth the watch, especially if you know what you're getting yourself into. And coming up next, we'll be talking about another new horror film on Shudder called The Twin. Stay tuned.
You see strange dreams, don't you? These dreams are trying to tell you something.
What does he want from my son?
Everything.
Well, here's a movie that could have also been called The Sadness, maybe even more so than the movie called The Sadness. The Twin is about a married couple who moves to Finland with their son after his twin dies in a car accident. Oh, but something's going on in the house. The son is speaking to someone who isn't there. Dad is off in his room writing something like The Shining is also going on in the house. The people in the town are acting like they're part of some cult. Then, of course, there's the older resident, who's the classic stock character that appears to know everything that's going on and is happy to provide exposition whenever needed. Or is that the case? But really though, stock is about the best way to put this. It's not that it's necessarily terrible, it's just one of those hybrid movies that constantly reminds you of several other films without really doing much to stand out on its own, which makes me just simply want to watch any of the other movies that it reminds me of. It has imagery in it that's sometimes like the Amityville Horror, or Hereditary, or Goodnight Mommy, or Midsummer, or Rosemary's Baby. Like, yeah, The Sadness reminded me of some other things, but it still felt like it was doing its own thing and was still riveting. Nothing in this movie really feels all that natural or genuine. The movie isn't poorly shot, it just looks like how you'd imagine a mediocre movie like this would look like. Although there is some questionable ADRing that's going on in a few scenes that has the audio quality of someone narrating, but they're right there on screen. By the time it does get to the big reveal, it feels like it's happening because, well, we've reached that point where we might as well stop and explain everything, even though this could have been explained a lot sooner. There's a lot that's telegraphed pretty hard, too. Like, there's no reason for a person to climb this ladder up to a plank other than for that person to fall off of it. The acting is fine, the musical score is okay, but it's a phone-playing movie where you'll be tempted to look at your phone a number of times during it. I'll give it a C- because it's not like it's bad enough for me to put it in the D category, though I can think of a number of D movies that were probably more entertaining or stood out way more than this. The Twin is also available on Shudder, and you're better off just watching The Sadness instead. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to subscribe to our channel today and click the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.